Hey guys, up for sale is my 1973 Plymouth Barracuda, or Cuda. This is a 318 car with an automatic transmission. So some of the things about the car, the wheels and tires, they're US mag, or no correction, those are Rev wheels. They're the 17-inch Magnum 500 style from Rev Wheel. That's a 245 50 17 on the back and a 235 45 17 on the front. A little bit about the car. I'll walk around and talk more about it. So it's got the hockey stripes. Instead of the standard engine displacement, it's got just Cuda on the back. I had those kind of special made for the car. You can order those kind of like a custom hockey stripe. It just says Cuda. I think it looks really good. It's period correct. And you know, with it being a 318 car, until it's converted to maybe a 340 or 440 or just left like it is, I think the Cuda stripe looks a lot better. Brand new wheels and tires. Just drove around the block, that's it. The headlights are going to be a aftermarket style HID headlight, extremely bright. Body and the paint in this car is solid. It's not a 100% show car paint job, but I think it looks really good. I mean, you can take a car show right now. I'm sure this car will do very well. It's a Cuda, a lot of people's dream car, and you just don't see these cars very often. Walk around the back a little bit. There's only a couple little things I'll point out on this car. One of which is the bumpers in the car are fine. I just didn't want to take too much of time to chrome wrap, to re-polish all the chrome. So what I did is I took this vinyl wrap and just chrome wrap the car. You can't tell until you get to maybe some of the corners and stuff like this. It could probably be redone, or just take that vinyl wrap off and just polish the chrome. I just didn't want to bother with it. And the front is done the exact same way. So some of the edges and stuff you can tell where, you know, it was my first time doing it. Didn't do too great of a job. Hindsight being 2020, I probably should just took the time to polish the chrome. And but like I said, it's just a cheap fix for convenience sake. It looks really bright and lustrous like the brand new chrome bumpers, but either polish them up or re-chrome them. Let me pause right here because they got a ice cream truck in the background. Okay, let me show you the interior of this car. So it's a complete car, complete interior, everything's there. The only thing, there's a couple little things that need to be addressed. The door panels are have been repainted, but they need to be probably sanded down and refinished. And I'm trying to get this in the best lighting where you can see it, but these probably need some attention. It's a good driver car right now. If you wanted to make a show car, or you want to be 100% correct, then you could probably take some time and address some of these spots. And the only other thing here is the dash. I mean, not the dash, but the armrest pad is missing. Armrest pad's there on the other side, all the parts and pieces, but you can see like right in there that some of these panels just need to be pulled out and cleaned up. They have been repainted. The rear seat is in great shape. All that stuff's been re-vinyl dyed. New headliner, new dash cap, brand new carpet, just cheap little floor mats for right now, but brand new carpet underneath. The console's been restored. The dash is in good shape. It's got Ralley Gauges, is a Ralley Gauge car from the factory. I think the speedometer and the tachometer do not work. They probably need to be gone through, but other than that, all the hard to find parts and pieces of these cars, you know, just the door panels alone are a few $100s. The consoles in between $300 to $600. All the rear panels and all the hard to find stuff, you know, it's all there. So it's a complete car. It does run and drive fine. I'll go ahead and crank it right up. It does have some aftermarket gauges, so oil pressure, water pressure, stuff like that. Those work well as well. Fires right up. Idle is great. And I'll pop the hood. You can see under the engine compartment as well. You pause while I open it. Okay, as you can see, there's not been too much restoration or anything up under the engine bay. It could be cleaned up and probably repainted and stuff like that. But the engine's in great shape. It runs like a sewing machine. There's some brand new parts and pieces like alternator, distributor, wiring, solenoid switch, plugs, wires. things of that nature. It needs to be cleaned up out here. At one point in time, it leaked oil under the valve cover. That's been cleaned up, so it just needs to be kind of washed down. I'm probably going to take the time here in the next couple days to clean all this up. So by the time it's listed for sale, this is probably going to be cleaned up underneath here, repainted black, and you know, touch up the paint on the engine. But it runs and drives great. No issues with the engine at all. Shifts into gear very well. Drives around the neighborhood just fine. You get on the highway, not an issue on this car at all. Let me pause this and I'll show underneath the car. Okay, so moving underneath the car, I've purposely not painted under here for a reason, is that you can see the frame rails are in great shape. No rust, no pitting, they're completely solid. The frame underneath this car is completely solid. No issues at all. The reason why I've not painted underneath here is because a lot of times people will try to cover up stuff and for all intents and purposes polish a turd. I'm not about that. Once I videotape this underneath the car, I'll probably come in front of here with some chassis paint, seal everything up just to make it look better. But I just want to document how straight these frame rails are, and there's no issues here underneath the car. I know when I bought this car, that was my main concern, was any kind of structural, any kind of rust, any kind of frame rail issue. But no rust in this car. A lot of that stuff's already been addressed. There's never any issues with the frame rails. And I'll put what the previous owner told me about the body in the description. Okay, let's move around to the side, and there's only one last part. There's only one issue on this car, and it's right here where, instead of doing like they did on the rear and everywhere else on the quarters, here in this fender, they just patched with bondo. And unfortunately, that bondo has now cracked. So that little spot there needs to be addressed. But to be honest with you, until you're looking for it, it really doesn't even, you don't really even see it. Sometimes I forget it's there. But if somebody buys this car and they want to kind of make it a show car, there's only a few little things that probably need to be done. Just clean up the panels in the interior and probably that spot right there. Again, underneath this chrome wrap is completely chrome bumpers. They just need to be polished up. So let me walk around the car one last time. Again, 1973 Cuda. A very reasonable price for this car. Running, driving, these things are harder and harder to find, especially on the road already. Running, driving, painted. Good looking car. But I just plan on building this car with my daughter and letting her drive it, stuff like that. She's still really young and has no interest in it, and I have my dream car already, so it's about time to just let somebody else enjoy it and pass on this great Mopar.